Hey everyone, welcome back to GameSpot's E3 2017 stage. I'm in the wrong year. It's already been a long show. We are here live, going to be demoing Metro Exodus, which was just revealed at EA's press conference the other day. I'm your host, Mike Mahardy, here with Timur Hussein.
Hello.
And I am also here with Jon Bloch, executive producer on Metro Exodus.
Yep.
And Andriy Prokhorov, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. You're the creative director on this Metro Exodus. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and we saw it was kind of one of those games that, it was during the Microsoft press conference.
Yeah.
And,
I think the biggest question everyone has, the internet is going for, is what was this? Was this a rendered cutscene, or was this a gameplay thing? It looks incredibly good. I remember watching it here, and I was like, man, this looks insane. Like, is this a pre-rendered cutscene? Can you give us a statement on that? Is it real? Is it not?
It is not a pre-rendered cutscene. It was captured in engine from a gameplay sequence at the end of a level that is later on in the game. But then we did things to shorten it for the trailer, and removed any HUDs, removed any on-screen prompts that would be there for QuickTime events or things like that. So it's everything you see there. That's what the game looks like. That's captured from gameplay, and so it's not pre-rendered. It's not
And with question make our guys who working on this episode just smiling and yeah. So it's really pleasant.
yeah, it
We're
looks
expecting that people like it, but we didn't expect it that so much hype, and
Yeah.
it's really pleasant.
No, it looked great. And then the one thing, the talking point being the fact that as opposed to the first two games, which are fairly linear shooters, although there was some choice involved last night, this is an open world game. So I'm curious how that's going to work in this as the third game in a series. How do you go open world all of a sudden, and how do you make that work, and how does that factor into the world that 4A has created?
So we're kind of defining it more as sandbox survival, and it's not the entire game like that. We have sections of the game that are that classic linear Metro gameplay that everyone's familiar with from the previous games, and then we have some environments like the one you see in the trailer that are more non-linear, larger, still offer that classic Metro style gameplay, exploration, the action, the survival, things like that. But it offers it in a larger non-linear space where players can kind of go at their own pace and explore more and do more of those things in a more free environment. And throughout the entire game, there is an overarching storyline that holds it all together. So you'll go from linear levels to non-linear levels and
I guess as someone who has played the previous two games, that comes as welcoming to me, because a lot of the original games, they're linear and it allows you to control tension, and the Metro games are known for having this quite intense atmosphere, really dark, and kind of like you're on edge for a lot of it, and in long sessions that can be quite like nerve-wracking. You come away feeling a bit like tired, and so there's having this kind of like open world element to it where you're kind of seeing more light and having this in kind of like you're not feeling like you're going to be set upon by a mutant or a human or at any moment, having this kind of exploration element of it.
Well, but you might even in the non-linear levels. So it feels a little bit different. There are parts of even the non-linear levels where you'll go underground. I mean, even so, like the beginning of this trailer, there's an underground section that feels like that classic Metro gameplay, but it's in a more non-linear level. So we've kind of mixed even in the non-linear levels. We've mixed in that classic Metro gameplay.
Cool.
And core team has experience with Stalker, so we have the same core team. And with time, it was ambitious idea. Let's try to combine Metro and Stalker.
Yeah, I think that's...
And we, from the beginning, we thought it will be easy. So we made both projects. It wasn't easy, but as a result, we are satisfied with the result. So it's still we still have all element which player likes in Metro, and we gave them more freedom. They ask us about. Well,
yeah, how does it feel to have that kind of, also have that lineage of Stalker now put on you? Because everything I read about it, people are like, oh, this is Stalker. This is Stalker. So, like, you know, I mean, you have your own game, you have your own series, Metro, and for a group of people, it means a lot to them. But now people are also putting on the legacy of Stalker on top of that. So now you've got almost 2 legacies to live up to. Is that something that you encourage, that you like? I mean, you've mentioned Stalker here yourself, so are you kind of embracing that? Are you okay with taking on the mantle of Stalker as well as Metro now?
Well, I think certainly the core team that came from Stalker, originally, and then came to form 4A Games is definitely proud of the legacy, proud of what what was created for Stalker, and then what we've done for the Metro games. So I think there's definitely we're proud of what was done, and we're using everything that was learned during that time developing Stalker, and during the time that we've been developing the Metro games. Okay. So certainly there's pride there. So as far as like comparing the two, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious what you took from 2033, going to Last Light, like what you took from those first 2 games that you want to implement here, despite the fact that it seems like it's bigger, it's it's better looking, it's the continuation of these 2 games, which kind of at their time, despite how great I think they were, it was almost a cult following surrounding them. And then of course now you're on Microsoft stage, it's like there's already more exposure to it. It feels like how are you handling like taking things from the past 2 games and implementing them in Exodus?
So I think, every time we go to make a new one, we go back and we look at what worked really well in the last one and the things that we thought we could do better. And also we scour the internet for all the comments from our fans after we release a game, and pay attention to what they're saying, and pay attention to what they're liking and what they're not liking. So we definitely look at where we can improve the game, and I think obviously, like we touched on before, the non-linear levels is part of giving the fans more freedom that they've been asking for. Other systems like the weapon systems, for customization, is greatly expanded on in this game. In the past, we've had relatively simple or more simple customization for the weapons, and in this one, that system is a lot more fleshed out, which we'll get into at a later date. But you saw even in the trailer how the player was swapping out the magazine, things like that. So
yeah.
So we was really cautious in order not give for player something new, but cut something which they liked before.
Sure.
So that's why I would say this game will have all elements from the previous game and more.
Okay.
Can you talk about the survival elements specifically that are going to be playing into Exodus?
Open sandbox type level, so it's pure survival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so in the non-linear levels, we have a lot more opportunities to do things, that feel a lot more dynamic, especially with the AI, with the creatures roaming around and things like that. So where in the previous games, in the more linear sections, it felt a lot more like you would walk into a room that was obviously a creature's lair, and then you'd expect to be attacked. But in the more non-linear levels, you can be walking around and come across a mutant at any time, really. Right. So there's a lot more freedom and room for unexpected encounters, certainly in the non-linear levels.
One of the things that is really interesting that I've been reading about is the story takes place over the course of a year, correct? And obviously you have this nuclear kind of ravaged world. What is kind of the implication of having a story that takes place over that period of time? Obviously, as someone who's thinking about it and thinking about the exciting potential, is like my mind goes to an open world environment that kind of shifts as you make your way through it. You're a ranger. You have this kind of goal to change things and try and make things better. Is that kind of like how you're reflecting that over the course of the year? Your actions will be reflected in the world around you. What does the kind of like year-long period mean for the game?
Well, I mean, part of it is the journey is a pretty epic one to escape Moscow, to escape everything that Artyom has known, and try to find something that's better. The world is obviously, Moscow, at least for sure, has blown up. It's completely destroyed, and trying to find something new without knowing what's out there. It's a pretty epic journey that he's embarking on with a small group of friends, and so. The nice thing, we get to show the different seasons, which is something we've never done before in the Metro series. It's always been snow. It's always been cold. In the trailer, you see what is autumn. So it's a level that takes place later in the game, so we get to do things that are new within the world of Metro that are familiar to fans, but kind of put a little twist on it to make it new and interesting in different environment types. And we get to tell the story over a longer period of time. The previous games were over maybe a couple days, a week, a couple weeks, something like that. It was a lot shorter as far as the overall timeline. So we get to tell a more like full and interesting story over a longer period of time, and see how the characters develop over time, and see how they react to certain situations and things like that. So
how do you continue Artyom's story in a way that will be interesting and have the right context to someone who might not have played the first two games, but also rewarding for someone who did play 2033 and Last Light?
Well, I mean, so a lot of the story specifics we're not quite getting into yet,
sure.
But the main idea about this game is about leaving Moscow and going out into the world and seeing what's out there and trying to find something that's better. I think in the last two games we did. We tried to make sure that even if you were starting with Metro Last Light, that you still understood who Artyom was and what his struggle was, or what he was, his friends, his family, things like that. And I think through those other characters that go on the trip with him, we'll be able to still capture that. There's certainly going to be moments in this game where Artyom is alone, like he often was in previous games. But we'll have that group of his comrades to be able to help tell that story.
So would you describe it as a more personal story around Artyom and the people around him? Because we have the elements of the Dark Ones and that kind of stuff, and how they play into the overall fiction, that kind of stuff. Is it kind of balanced? Does it have more of that as well, or is it just like more about this guy trying to figure out what his place is in the world now and trying to help the people around him?
Well, I think it's this one could be a little bit more personal to the group and their journey, and what they're trying to accomplish.
Right.
So.
Okay, cool.
Do you have any more questions, Samar?
I was just that's pretty much it. Like, I'm excited to see more of the game. It looks really impressive. I mean, I love survival horror games and I like shooters. So this is right up my alley. I love the first two games. So yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Andrew and John, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. We know you have a busy week.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Good luck with the rest of E3.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
Thank you.
If you're watching this from home, we will have more hopefully on Metro Exodus in the coming weeks, and we'll have more from a bunch of other games that are at the show this week up here on the demo stage downstairs at our co-op stage. We'll be streaming all week, so be sure to stay tuned to GameSpot. We'll see you then.